Do not. Thank you, sir. So we are at the top of the meeting here. Is everybody online? Are they able to say what they need to say as panelists?
Yeah. For those online,
Can you show all of them, Thomas?
They have to accept, so.
Okay.
No, but I know, but there's an arrow up there, which means that if you change the viewing, you can see all of them.
Yes, that I can do too. Let me see if we get Christina, Charles, or Robert to join us. I'll change the view.
And so,
No, not that one.
so everybody, if you can kindly sign in, we also please write legibly so that we can decipher it and make sure that everybody is on the mailing list.
Can't when he's sharing.
Oh,
Don't worry about it.
I can't see.
Just as long as you can see them raising anything.
Okay, yeah, it's on mine right now. Let's see. Okay, good. So, but we have a small presentation today, because we have the names in the house, together. So as a committee.
Does it add up to a century of service between the two of you to the city of LA?
Let me get a statue.
What did you say?
Does it add up to a century of service between your time working for the city? Right?
His and mine?
Yeah,
I move the agenda.
I'm not sure.
pretty darn close.
Absolutely. So we,
Neighborhood council already.
but this is
Northwest.
But this is where the hard work has been happening for decades, whether it be the port committee or the planned land use, in your committee work. And again, I'm still a new guy around here, but at the same time, we recognize that like what real hard work and what it takes to be a part of the community and to sometimes lift it up. When others are busy lifing and things like that. And so, I wanted to make sure that this moment is not passed and that because it's not just me and Dr. Norman here, but of course, everybody feels the same way about both of you's commitment to, I know Diana sometimes gets the spotlight all the time, but
He does the work.
he doing the work.
I think you both do.
Absolutely. So they're the dynamic duo that, we are going to notice. And we want to make sure that, you're always in our hearts and wherever you go. So we have a small token, which is a certificate, which is
It's beautiful.
outside of here. It's a certificate of recognition or an appreciation. Hello, Mr. Noel. Where it reads, and again, it's sliding here, but I can adjust it later. That this certificate is proudly presented to the nave by exemplifying civic leadership, strengthening the San Pedro community through dedicated service, thoughtful engagement, and lasting community impact.
Thank you so much.
No problem. And the city is on a budget, so. So we got the one pen for the names
Oh,
to be shared. So,
But no ink.
wow. No, is it something special? Does it say City of LA or something?
it's just a token of our appreciation.
You can still zoom in from San Diego.
This is the Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council.
Well, thank you all very much. We will miss everyone and all of the.
Spare no expense.
Your signature.
There you go.
Well,
Want to sign?
I'll fix that later.
as in any case,
It's a beautiful.
anybody is only as good as the people you have to work with. So
You're gonna miss.
it goes for everybody in this room for sure.
Absolutely.
That's a beautiful pen. Diana's gonna keep it. Yeah.
I didn't even get to look at it.
I can barely write anyway. Oh, gosh.
That's fine. Come on in. Please sign in. All right, so we've called the meeting to order, and do we have any of our public officials?
Now we have Axel with us.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I can do it.
You know where.
So,
What time?
so with that being said, thank you all for being here this evening. If you could sign in and the conversations come to a halt. So Mr. Axel, good evening.
Hey, good evening. How's everybody?
Not that
Have your thinking right there,
Yeah.
Kane, so.
So you've got to,
mic volume.
Which volume?
All right, so we're ready for your report. Axel, when you're ready.
Excellent. Before I start, I too want to echo the sentiments in the room about Pat and Diana. I'll share a really quick story. When I was first assigned to the joint planning and land use committee of the neighborhood councils, God, like 7.
So we could barely hear you.
Sorry, can you guys hear me? Is that better?
Better, but it could be better.
Let me see. Let me see if it's something on my end. Yeah. Is that better?
No, we can't hear you at all.
That's better. Yes.
All right. Still figuring out my audio function 6 years past pandemic. So just want to echo the sentiments in the room about Pat and Diana. When I started in this position and took over planning for the previous council office, one of my first meetings was San Pedro Pluck, and it was really great to understand and see two community members so dedicated to making this a better place. And over time, we've gotten a chance to work together. Not always agreed, but at least always worked in partnership. And I think it's always been an education from the both of you. I learn more every day in this job and continue to do so every time I talk to you. So I just want to tell you so how much I appreciate having been able to have the opportunity to work with you guys over the last on and off 10 years. So that being said, I know you guys have a full agenda. A lot of the projects that you have on here actually overlap with what my portfolio is in the office. So I don't want to step into port or development projects for this one, other than the Vincent Thomas Bridge closure. So that'll be the only item that I think I have to report on outside of One San Pedro, which is another one of interest to you all. So for the VTB closure, 2 weeks ago, a council member had the Port of LA, Caltrans, LAPD, and Department of Transportation come into our Trade, Travel, and Tourism Committee to provide a report back on one of our motions, which is basically asking for staffing numbers and plan for the Vincent Thomas Bridge closure. We're very concerned about staffing levels when it comes to traffic control officers, police officers from the port, LAPD, and then CHP as well. So just wanted to give you guys an update that's in motion, and we're looking to have another report back in a few months. We're really focused on making sure our budget asks for next year are focused on having adequate enforcement resources for the closure. And then for One San Pedro, I'm happy to report that the One San Pedro specific plan has made its way to Plum this last week, went through in flying colors. So we're hoping to have it finalized and in council for final vote in the next couple of weeks as well. I just wanted to give you those updates. And then while I'm on here, a lot of these projects overlap, and I know you all want or would like to get an opinion from the council office. So I'll be on for a few minutes before I switch to the Vincent Thomas Bridge meeting. So feel free to ask questions while you have me. Sorry, any questions on either the One San Pedro specific plan or the Vincent Thomas Bridge closure, or any opinions you would like on any of the projects that are listed here from the council office?
Are you guys unmuted? We can't hear anything from the room.
Can't hear anything from the room if you guys
we
are.
were muted again.
Yep.
There we go.
I'm here.
Okay. Axel, can you bring us up to date on where the councilman stands on the proposed Gibson parking lot?
We're still, the position is, as of today, still in opposition.
Thank you.
Change.
Any other questions?
Yeah. Thanks, Axel.
Thank you.
On a specific plan, the One San Pedro specific plan, did we sort out everything with having to sort of go back to square one with the new zoning and everything else like that, or are they still moving ahead from where they were?
Yeah, so we did not have to start over at square one. We were able to move forward from where we are, and essentially, as the recode takes effect, it doesn't look like there's going to be too much in terms of conflict between both sets of plans. So it got vetted several times by planning and city attorney. I was in those discussions, and so we're not foreseeing any conflicts based on the way it's written.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Axel. If there's no other questions. Oh, I apologize. We haven't done a roll call. Okay. Okay, so if we can quickly do roll call for the audio to pick up everybody's name, and we'll start with those online.
Robin Root is still here, Chair of Coastal San Pedro Neighborhood Council Land Use Committee.
Garrett Tyke, present for Northwest San Pedro Council.
Brooke Smith here, Northwest.
Samuel Rampy, Northwest.
Axel, council office.
Doug Epperhart, Coastal
James
San
Wolf.
Pedro.
Ryan, Senate office.
Mike Tunney.
Mike Tunney with the John Gibson project.
What happened to Jacob?
Doug, are you there?
Oh, no, Doug came in.
James Campo's there.
Charles Henry, I'll just acknowledge Charles Henry, Brooke Smith, to James, I think spoke, and then as non-panelists. We have Christina Reichart, Lamar, Richard, just plain Richard, and Robert Gannett.
Thank you. And those that are in the room?
Elise Swanson Coastal.
Ray Regalado, Northwest.
Frank Anderson, Central.
Lori Jacobs, stakeholder, coastal.
Tom Hyatt, Central.
Adele Healy, Central and Coastal.
Ethan Fernandez, Central.
And Northwest.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, Northwest.
Diana Nave, Northwest.
Noel Gould, coastal.
Kane Nicholas, Northwest.
Tom Norman, Northwest.
You've got two more people.
And
Central.
Anthony Moe, Central, stakeholder.
thank you so much for everybody. And
Should
moving on.
Lamar be promoted?
Oh, he's in the room.
Yeah, we've tried promoting him, but he doesn't accept.
Well, he's on the attendees list. Okay, whatever.
All right, so Brian, it's great to see you here.
Likewise.
And it is your time now from the Senator's office.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, Brian Martinez, Office of Your Neighbor and Senator Laura Richardson. Brief updates. First and foremost, the Senator currently has 14 bills pending referral to committees this year. It's still early in the ledge process, and I'm waiting on bill summaries to share details. But if you'd like to see what's publicly available, I see that the chat there's no chat. I remember that a little bit late. I'll email it, but if you just Google ledge info, you can see her bills there. But bill topics range from personal income taxes to wildfire mitigation to the production of generic prescription drugs, but more details to come as soon as I send that out. Any questions specific to ledge? Okay. Regarding Caltrans, thank you, Axel, for the updates. I'll add a little bit more. There'll be some traffic impacts tomorrow and Saturday. Tomorrow, there's going to be one lane closed from Harbor Boulevard to Ferry Street from 9 to 2 p.m. On Saturday, there's going to be one lane closed as well, southbound. The other one was northbound from Ferry Street to Harbor Boulevard, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'll try and get more info on that future upcoming closures soon. The last one is regarding the 91 freeway. There's a long-term ramp closure on State Route 91. This isn't Compton, but I figured regionally it's important. At Alameda Street, exit Alameda and Santa Fe. The off-ramp in Compton, it's going to be from now through September 2026, so you won't be able to take that exit. The reasons for that is they're improving the bridge railings. If you're familiar with that area, It's used a lot for a lot of the larger vehicles that use Alameda, so they're improving that area too. Lastly, this is specific to in partnership with the CD15 and their continued communication with us. The trash and dumping on the hillside above the 47 off ramp at Harbor Boulevard is scheduled to be cleaned up tomorrow. I'm going to try and take some pictures and confirm that, but thank you so much for everybody that continues to let me know hotspot areas in the Caltrans right away.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Awesome.
If there are no questions, we'll move on.
Any questions online?
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
All right, so and the Augie is not on the call at this moment, correct?
All right, so we'll just move on and circle back when he joins us.
Absolutely. Okay, so we'll go to the motions and discussion items, 4A, where there's a motion to requesting the inclusion of certain non-discretionary projects in certified neighborhood council CNC reports, and that will be Ms. Robin. And Robin, we do have your document printed out here on site.
Okay, are we
What happened to item
skipping
3?
3?
He isn't here yet.
Oh.
That's right.
He's reporting on all of that, Augie is?
Yeah, then they're not all Augie. That's why I was.
Yeah, like.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Phillips.
Oh, I got that.
Oh, yeah. You're right. The way it's laid out was,
Well, that's okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, the line. I'm sorry, Robin. There was a typo on the agenda there. So 3F is an item that we can pick up here.
Okay, no problem. I'll wait.
Thank you. The Lions and the John Gibson chassis project.
First, we put this on the agenda to keep the conversation going as relates to this project. I've been inundated with comments as relates to environmental issues, traffic. Mr. Tiny has attended several meetings and has the impression he'll be attending more. So again, it's just to keep the discussion on the subject itself. Clearly, it's ongoing opinions in regards to pro and con. And again, we're trying to keep the discussion open as relates to the project itself.
Okay. I have a question for the council office.
For which office?
The council office regarding the chassis.
Yes.
Okay.
Still on here?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
still
hi,
on. By the way, if you have questions on any of the other projects, I misread it. I thought Augie was reporting on all this stuff. So if there's any one of these you guys want an update on, I'm pretty versed. But yes, your question.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to, if you can explain the opinion or the opposition from the council office.
Sure. So the opposition from our office is based on planning and land use, what we believe is planning and land use incompatibilities. So the northern end of the project sits within the City of Los Angeles Coastal Development Zone and within the Wilmington Neighborhood Council and neighborhood boundaries as of the Bureau of Engineering. And as you all know, we have an interim control ordinance that prohibits trucking uses of any kind throughout Wilmington. And so there would have to be an amendment or basically us providing a variance to the ICO for this one property and this one project, which we're not in agreement in doing. And then, of course, the port master plan would have to be amended from space to maritime support, which the council office is also in opposition to. So it's land use. It's a land use based opposition.
Okay. Axel, it's Adele Healy. I have a question. Today I learned that the Harbor Commissioners meeting tomorrow morning, that this subject was removed from the agenda. Is that correct? Was that at Tim's request?
Yes to both of them. So yes, the item was removed, so it's not on the agenda for tomorrow, and it was at the request of the council office. The council member wanted a couple more weeks to basically get a little bit more input from the community, take a meeting or two with planning, and get an idea of what the kind of what the path forward for the project were to be if it were to continue on its path for entitlement, at least through the city side. The Harbor Commission side is pretty straightforward. So that was at our request.
Thank you.
Axel?
Yes.
This is Pat. Pardon me. If he's still gathering information can you schedule a meeting with him and with me and with Gina Martinez from, excuse me, Wilmington Neighborhood Council, maybe Ray Regalado as well. We can express to him the things that we've considered as neighborhood councils, because I think every neighborhood council in this room has come out against this project.
Correct. And yes, we'd be happy to do so if you want to just email me on the side. I have to work through his scheduler, but I'd be happy to do that. And for this project, I'm sure he'd be willing to chat as soon as possible.
Be sure that it's certainly not available.
Yep.
Any other questions online?
Axel, can you just say once more what the port plan amendment would need to be? I missed that.
So the boundaries of the Harbor District of Los Angeles are governed in terms of planning and land use by the Port Master Plan, not the Department of City Planning. And so the Port Master Plan has this particular property under open space. That's the current designation. And it would have to be amended to go from open space to maritime support.
But it's just one small part of the project, isn't it? Or is it?
No, the majority of the project sits within the Port Master Plan. The northern section of the project sits within the city of Los Angeles.
That's right.
And some years ago, probably 30 years ago, the port staff brought to the Harbor Commission a Port Master Plan that ran industrial uses right up to the boundaries of the Harbor District. And the Board of Harbor Commissioners sent it back to staff and said, look, we want a buffer between the industrial uses of the port and the neighborhoods. And that's why you have a Wilmington Waterfront Park, 45 acres of a buffer between Wilmington and the northern boundary of the industrial uses. It's why you have Banning Landing, rehabbing. That's why you have open space there behind Gibson Boulevard, which the port built back in the early 60s when it moved Wilmington to San Pedro Road. It's why we have the bicycle path coming around the West Basin. It's why we have West Harbor and other visitor serving potential all the way down to Cabrillo Beach between the community and the industrial uses of the port.
Yes, I don't want to be argumentative, but this site backs up to a freeway.
Yes, it does.
And so I do know the applicant has a question or a statement.
Yes.
Sonny?
Yes. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good to see everyone again. Thanks for having us on your agenda. And, if there's an opportunity for us to attend that meeting with the councilman, Axel, or have our own direct meeting with the councilman, we'd appreciate that as well. We've gotten a lot of good feedback from all members of the neighborhood councils on the project, and we've been incorporating that. But, I just want to call out as this is a land use meeting that not the entire property is within the Port Master Plan. And we have zoning from the city of LA that is industrial on the portion of the property that is directly adjacent to the freeway. It's roughly 5 or 6 acres, and all of the underlying zoning is also industrial with heavy manufacturing. And then I'd also like to call out that from this site is we are south of the Wilmington buffer you mentioned, and our project is directly between 2 freeway entrances and exits with a port, West Basin Container Terminal as a part of the port directly to our east. So from a land use perspective, we do, half of the proposed lot is industrial and in the city of LA. And so we appreciate the, additional consideration thus far, and we're looking forward to working through this with the community to address, all of your guys' input and feedback. And we've been adding elements as far as community benefits are concerned, which I think we should have the opportunity to represent those to all of the neighborhood councils. And we're happy to address any of these traffic concerns. But 80% of our traffic analyzed is going directly right back on the freeway, on the ingress and on the egress. So I would disagree with some of the public comments made. in our previous meetings that, at the Northwest Neighborhood Council about how much trips this is going to generate, but happy to address all those. And just appreciate the continued consideration. We've been working with the local environmental group out of Wilmington to address a future electrification plan to help with heavy duty charging stations on site. As many of you know, we've had partnerships with the Boys and Girls Club in Wilmington for funding for their career bound and college bound programs. We've added an annual sponsorship of the Banning High School football program. In addition to this being a labor project that will be union built and union maintained. So, we are excited to bring this to the area, but we've continued to add feedback from the local neighborhood councils into the project to make this better. But as you're aware, the project it's a challenge site. It's on a slope. It's been vacant. It's not suitable as a park. It's not suitable for housing. And the zoning, the underlying zoning has always been heavy or industrial with heavy manufacturing. So, we'd appreciate just a continued dialogue to get your guys' feedback and support, and we'll continue to I'll keep showing up at these meetings until we can get proper support from the neighborhood councils. So, we're aware of the comment letter that we had from Wilmington. I guess that was January of last year, as well as essentially copy pasted the Wilmington Neighborhood Council letter into the Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council comment letter. And so, but we had some direction that we had to get back out into the community and keep taking meetings until we can get the community support. And we've had a lot of coordination with the Harbor Police Department. We're looking forward to cleaning up this site, and we've got a lot of good feedback from the harbor commissioners when we gave our initial project overview. As you're aware, the certification for the EIR meeting got pushed back for us to take more time to meet with community leaders. So that's all I can ask for, is another continued opportunity to meet with you guys and bring a great project that you guys can stand behind. But there is no parking, truck parking in any of the adjacent areas. And we're going to be solving street congestion and illegal parking and idling by just having an adjacent lot directly between the freeway entrances and exits next to the West Basin Container Terminal. So it's going to be a pressure valve release, and it's going to improve safety and security. And we've had a well-vetted traffic plan between the port engineering, between the LA Department of Transportation, and between our traffic engineer. It's been over-engineered for safety and security, as well as a new traffic light that's been implemented. And I appreciate being here tonight. The last time I was with you guys at this joint land use meeting, it was June 25th of last year. And then as a follow-up of the meeting, we had Noel and Robin and a few others come to our property to do a site walk, to visit it for yourself, see its current conditions with the slope, its current conditions with homeless encampments, with the historical crime record associated with the property, and then our abandoned oil pipeline. So I'll send out some more information after this, and happy to share our updated presentation materials on our project website. And Pat and Diana, we'd love to keep working with you to get this up to par and for all the other neighborhood councils. But I appreciate all of your guys' feedback this far, and for taking my calls and for giving us an audience to present. And we'll continue to make this project better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Mark.
I have a question.
Yes, sir. Mr. Lyons has a question.
What interaction have you had with Phillips 66?
What interactions have with Phillips 66?
Mike, the question on the floor is, what interaction are you having with Phillips 66?
It's been minimal. They have reached out about our project. And they were interested, they had some interest in our project, and there's been support of our project. But we haven't, they're on such a different timeline than us. We've sat through their community presentations. They had a really nice presentation on, I forgot which neighborhood council meeting it was that I sat in on, but I reviewed all of their presentation materials, their proposed retail center and industrial park. And we're aware of, their intention on where they're routing their traffic, but it was so early on that the, environmental document had barely been circulated. So as I understand, they're years and years out, on their project. So, and as we know, the projects kind of evolve over time. Just like when we started our environmental document first, our first project description was container stacking, and that got changed because, this use was a better use for maritime support. Also, we had to work with the Coastal Commission to update the open space because previously you couldn't have a driveway go through open space to get to our landlocked industrial parcel up by the top of the hill. So,
Does that answer your question? Thank you. You've answered the question. We'll keep the comments because we got a lot of great stuff on the meeting agenda today. So I will be enacting the timer today.
Thank you.
Response.
Sir? Yeah, I'm a local stakeholder and I would like to address this project and make a statement about it. I received this today in the mail from the Neighborhood Housing Service about a clean air grant for the community. And they justified this grant on their website stating, historically been burdened, this community has historically been burdened by pollution of traffic, truck traffic, oil refineries, and harmful sources. This project is another burden that puts residents and provides no upside for the community. The initial study for this project shows operational greenhouse gases to be close to 2,700 metric tons of CO2. Conveniently, that's just below the 3,000 ton threshold. At the very least, we need to take a closer look at these analyses for consideration. The traffic analysis also raises concern. It contradicts itself by identifying only 36 trips across 6 peak traffic hours, 7 to 10 a.m. and 3 to 7 p.m. You have hundreds of daily truck trips, estimating 20 trips per hour. That'd be 120 trips during these peak hours, commuting hours. So more review is needed for this. Also, the Harbor Police Station is right next door. And the initial study acknowledges potential interference with emergency response. We already have some of the worst response times in the community. Our emergency response already prioritized life or death situations where every second counts. This is going to add more seconds to their response time. I also wonder if y'all consider the 1,000 of housing units already approved for the community that will also add to commuter traffic. As you mentioned before, this is a one space designation, and keeping 50% of it landscape doesn't meet that functional use. The site has real potential to serve the community for coastal recreations, I believe, and potentially create jobs beyond the 5 jobs that the project identifies that it will bring. 5 jobs. With this investment being made, all the investments being made in downtown and the waterfront, West Harbor, and programs like JEDI, the last thing we need in our community is more traffic and pollution.
Thank you. We're on 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So for the sake of time on this particular issue, we definitely want to take it to some further discussion. And so Mike, the conversation is going to go offline or at a committee level per council. All right, so we're going to move on to that. Thank you for that. And if you could submit the report, that way we all know exactly what you're referencing from. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to move on to Philip 66 and 5 points. Robin?
Yes, okay. I just want to brief everyone on a meeting that several of us had with the city planner. that's responsible for the CEQA and the planning case. Her name is Kathleen King. And this particular meeting was to better understand the process for the project and the project status. And we had Doug Epperhart, Ray Regalado, Tom Norman, Elise Swanson, Adele Healy, Lamar Lyons, Adrian Fernandez, and a couple others in that meeting. And what we found out, I just want to give you a couple highlights. The public hearing will be with the City Planning Commission. We're still a long ways away from that, but that's who it will be. And I think they said there will also be a local hearing before the City Planning Commission meeting. One of the planners said that it's going to be a very long process because there's so many environmental issues that need to be studied. We should be planning to ask that they extend the public comment period. It's 45 days now, I think. Ray had recommended 120 days, so we need to be sure we have our council member request that. Once the EIR is published, then they're going to be drafting a specific plan. With respect to the housing alternative that I know a lot of us are interested in, it's been so far the applicant's decision not to include housing in their project description. Apparently, they have the opportunity to define the scope of the project, and if housing's not included, there aren't going to be any alternatives for housing studied. So as the planner said, right now, there's not a nexus for the city to do that housing alternative analysis. But one of the things the planner said too was that housing is going to require much more remediation, but that they would pass our interest in a housing alternative onto the consultant. But essentially, she said, if they were to build housing, they would have to do much more substantial cleanup. And that would take a lot more time. We're talking maybe years and millions of dollars more. And they believe that's the reason the applicant hasn't made it part of their project description. The other thing they said is in our public comments that we put in that come from our neighborhood councils, we should be sure to mention the Rancho San Pedro issues and that we expect that to be taken care of. And then they also said they're happy to have another call anytime. They're very open to talking to us. They said, yeah, it'll take millions more dollars and more years to do this housing remediation for the housing. Apparently you can't have housing on the ground floor where there's been these kinds of environmental issues. There's vapor, intrusion, etc. And frankly, it's possible that it could never be safe for housing. That's one thing that could be the result of the study. So someone pointed out that maybe only along Anaheim should be considered because there shouldn't be any contamination there. So that's something we should look into. That's at least could accommodate several hundred units. And someone asked the question, if you can't do housing, how is it okay for kids to play on the grass if it's too contaminated? Those good issues came up. So the conclusion was the earlier the better that we raise our concerns, and we may be able to impact the project description and include a consideration for housing, or at least an explanation why they aren't considering.
Question.
Yeah, thanks, Robin. Just sort of piggybacking on that last point that you made, because that was, my question was oriented around that. It's not just kids playing, but I mean, it's retail, it's restaurants, food service, all kinds of stuff like that. So if the pollution and toxicity in the ground is so bad that you couldn't have people living there, but it's kids playing there, people shopping there. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah, office building on the property for a really long time. Yeah.
That's huge. You can't just say like, oh, well, it's terrible and we'd never be able to clean it enough for anybody to live there, but just go and visit.
Thank you, Lori.
Hi, Lori Jacobs. I was going to basically say the same thing. I'm trying to figure out if housing is just something they don't want to deal with the zoning and everything else there. But I don't know if you're walking around stores and you're have industrial, whatever you have there, I would think the remediation for the cleanup would be the same no matter what's there, that humans are going to be walking there. So I'm just wondering if there's more of an underlying reason why they're trying to avoid housing. And most people know I'm a huge affordable housing advocate, and this is such a great opportunity to have for us to be able to expand in a place where we don't have enough land for housing. So I don't know what we do, how we push this anymore. I know it's a long time out, but
It's an oil refinery. Who's to say it's not qualifying for a Superfund site if it was actually investigated closely enough?
Pat?
With respect to the whole property, but particularly the acreage along the north and south sides of Anaheim, Diana and I invited Heather Krosner and two other people, one is a consultant and one from Phillips over, and particularly because I wanted to get from them something they promised us in the past, and that is their diagram showing where their test wells were and also what the downhole test results were. I have some background in that because it came up a lot in the acquisition of the property along bridges for the Wilmington Waterfront Park. And so I kind of know how to read those things. And they were very, very happy to provide that. That was a couple of weeks ago we met with them. I got them in the mail today from Heather. So I've just begun to take a look at them. So by the time we meet again, I should have an idea. Really, is it a case that they've got benzene down there or what? And where's the plume? They told us that there's a plume that goes across Gaffey Street, but they denied that there's a plume going across Anaheim that affects Machado Lake. So maybe, and they've agreed to meet again and come here, or wherever need to explain those kinds of results. Generally speaking,
We have somebody online as well, Garrett.
let's get in the middle of the.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry.
Well, look, I mean, if you have creosote soaking beds or something on it, or if you have oil wells on a property where you have stuff spilling out of the top of the thing and chemicals for treating out algae downhole, stuff like that, then you've got a problem. But operating a refinery or something like that, you don't have those kinds of really dangerous kinds of chemicals that are leaching into the groundwater or anything else. So that's what I'm really hoping to find out from reading this material and be able to at least give my view of it, and then Heather can, of course, come to her view on it. But hopefully we'll find that it doesn't bar something we've all said we want, and that was mixed-use housing on those sites.
You may want to invite Heather to bring someone to the next meeting to talk specifically about this issue.
Before the EIR comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be out for a couple of years.
Yeah, long before the
At this point, we're looking at trying to frame what it is they're going to study. Right now, they don't want to study housing at all.
Okay. Thank you. Garrett?
Just first, I want to say I love the idea of supporting some type of housing going into that plan. I think for us as a council, we need to be very specific about what type of housing we're requesting, because again, due to the notion that these costs are going to be dramatic, trying to push for affordable housing is just something that's going to be incredibly difficult for them to finance. Where if we can all agree that market rate housing, is at least some type of housing that would then give a greater supply, they may be more lenient to listening to that argument versus pushing for the affordable housing, which is just extremely difficult to fund.
Yeah. Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments for Robin? Thank you so much, Robin.
You're welcome.
And if you could continue to I'm sorry, we have Augie that's here as well. We're gonna interject, Robin?
Good, yes.
We're going back.
Sorry?
He's here?
That's too long now.
We lost him?
Yeah, he dropped off again.
Oh, okay.
But let's acknowledge, for the record, I see Jason Herring has joined. Thank you, Jason.
All right, so again, I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
I want to interject something that we haven't talked about regarding both these projects, the Gibson and also Phillips 66. In my capacity as a commissioner for the Department of Transportation, I have asked the department to help us understand what is going to be their participation in addressing the issue of traffic. It's going to be difficult there during construction and also during the time that they are going to be in full use. And I'm asking them to do some kind of study and address and come to our neighborhood councils and talk to us about what their plan is going to be. I haven't gotten a formal yes or no. I expect that, but definitely it's going to be something that I'm going to continue to ask for over the time.
I'm
sorry, but Augie's back, so we want to make sure.
I'll just be real quick. I appreciate that, Ray. And another thing that you could do, something that our neighborhood council took up a number of years ago, when there is a traffic study done, right now, there is no opportunity for community comment on the traffic study. But to have the traffic department put into their process an opportunity for the community to comment on a traffic study would be another thing I would appreciate.
That's really good.
Excellent.
Yeah. No, we're gonna go with Augie. We have to go with Augie.
I think we'll stay.
Augie, are you with us? And Robin, do you understand that we're gonna insert Augie here?
Well,
Yeah, yes, no problem. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Augie,
Yes, can you hear me?
we can hear you loud and clear.
Good.
Okay. So we have you for project and development updates on the waterfront, Cabrillo Youth Center, PIAP, Gateway Project, West Harbor, and the cruise terminal.
Okay, let me start with the waterfront update. So Avalon Pedestrian Bridge and Promenade in Wilmington was recently approved by the Board of Harbor Commissioners. It starts this Thursday. That project will start Thursday with a groundbreaking ceremony at 1 p.m. So all of our right after the commission meeting, the commissioner is going to run out there for a groundbreaking ceremony. It's a 30-month project with a cost of $152 million, 12-acre park, iconic bridge, sundial, and it's going to serve as the connection between the town of Wilmington and the waterfront over the train tracks there. SP slip cleanup. So the Southern Pacific slip where the fishing boats are. We've met with the fishermen, and we're starting to assign spots and locations on the dock for these fishermen, and we're having them keep them clean. So we're having some rules and stuff like that enforced, so that their nets are out there, and there's not a bunch of junk and stuff like that there has been in the past. And then parking lot at 22nd and Harbor and the Harbor Boulevard upgrade. So that lot currently is kind of made out of dirt and some grass, but we're going to pave that lot. It's going to be 2,300 spaces. Harbor Boulevard will be improved from SB Slip down to 22nd Street. We plan to go out to bid in April, and this will be done by 2028. There's going to be plenty of connections with bikes and walking paths. So the plan is to connect West Harbor with 22nd Street Park and Crafted, using some of that former rail right away. So rails to trails, we're trying to call that. Catchy name. Yeah. Cabrillo Youth Center. So if you haven't heard by now, the Port of Los Angeles served the Scouts a notice to vacate, which they did at the end of the year. The Port of Los Angeles, we're going to need that camp for a sailing training facility for the upcoming Olympics. Pathway to Podium is a new nonprofit that will be taking over the responsibilities of the site until the end of the Olympics, and they will accommodate current users, including the Scouts, Dragon Boats, Holy Trinity, Mary Star Swim Teams, San Pedro Outriggers, etc., for continuous use. P2P has a separate advisory board and will be responsible for managing the sailing facility and accommodating community needs. Plan is to put the site out for RFP during the Olympics and get a new operator, or maybe the old operator, or maybe a team of both or some, once the Olympics are done, and make the site open to the youth of our community. The PIP Gateway Project. So we have $10 million of PIP money to improve the mediums on Harbor Boulevard. And it's going to be done in 2 stages. So the first stage, we're planning on the mediums that are north, the north end of Harbor Boulevard from the bridge to about 7th Street. We want to make them look like the mediums that we just created south of there. So they will have the same look and feel. And we should have a concept of this next 30 days. Maybe we could come back when we have that concept, get some feedback from you guys. And the remainder of the money will be used for a more elaborate improvement later. We want to get something done before the Olympics. Then West Harbor. So I learned that hopscotch is done, ready to go. The FIFA World Cup viewing party. West Harbor location has been selected as one of the 2 in the city, and that will be happening in mid-July of this year. The reopened and new San Pedro Fish Market has been tremendously successful with waiting lines just like it was before. PBID is adding a couple of new trolley stops to West Harbor in anticipation to their opening this summer. And work is starting at the new amphitheater. And then finally, the cruise terminal, not much going on other than we're working to start the environmental document. That's pretty much it.
We have a question on the floor here by Miss Lori.
Hi, Augie. You missed me at the last meeting. So I have heard several presentations by the port on the Cabrillo Youth Center, also known as the Scout Center. And just in case everybody doesn't know, they gave them a notice to vacate with 30 days notice during the month of December, during the holidays, after having been there for over 40 years. It wasn't even a reasonable request. Many groups had been scheduled out till May and June that had to all be canceled. I'm sorry, what? Okay. I feel that the port has been very disingenuous. In all the presentations I hear the underlying message that the property is in disarray because the Scouts didn't take care of the property. The port left them hanging on a month-to-month lease for many years, despite the Scouts asking for a longer-term lease. You can't expect the scouting organization to put money into improvements on a property on a month-to-month lease. That would just be foolish. And so I'd like the port to stop making comments, okay, about the disarray or the status of that property and insinuating that the Scouts didn't take care of it. I would like to see more genuine comments, honestly saying, yes, we understand why they didn't take care of it because we didn't give them a long-term lease. And Augie, you already know how I feel about that. And I heard your presentation to Northwest. And yes, I am strongly opinionated because you have displaced so many youth groups for a gem of a property. And you may tell me down the road that Scouts will be back there. I have no confidence after watching the way the port has treated the Scouts organization. Thank you.
Diana Nave.
I have 2 things. The first one is in reaction to what Lori just said in conjunction with what you said, Augie. You made it sound like the youth groups were all being accommodated. Lori just said that they had to cancel events. So I need an explanation. And then my other question is a different topic. So maybe we answer that and then I'll ask my other question.
Yes, so I'm not aware of any groups that aren't being accommodated. So bring them up to me, and I could specifically, if there's isn't a group that's being accommodated, but that's right.
So my other question, it would be good to find that out, what's going on there. My other question relates to a project on Terminal Island. I think maybe it's called the Loop Project. I'm not quite sure. But it sounds a lot like what is being proposed for truck chassis on Gibson Boulevard. And so if you could just explain that project on Terminal Island and how it is the same or different from the proposal for the truck chassis on Gibson. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, I saw that there was some environmental document either out or coming out a couple of weeks ago. I read something, but it's basically the racetrack there on Terminal Island, and they're going to use that for chassis. I think chassis storage or something like that. Quite honestly, I didn't even read it, so I don't know much about it.
Well, maybe we could have someone come from the port to the next meeting to explain it.
Sure.
Adrian?
Yes, I just want to piggyback off.
We have Adrian has the floor.
Oh, thank you. I just want to piggyback off of Lori of what was said. I will acknowledge I understand why the reasoning, Olympics, blah, 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 blah. But I want to understand accommodation, because what I'm hearing is that they were accommodated, but how are they accommodated if events were postponed? And then Augie, you're coming in, you're saying you are not aware of any accommodation. So I mean, I'm just very confused on the accommodation part of it.
Everyone that was accommodated, the intent is everyone that was that was using the facility prior will still have access to the facility moving forward.
Can you give an example of an accommodation that was made?
Well, like the Dragon Boats, Mary Star, Holy Trinity swim team. If the scouts want to use that to do summertime overnight camping, you know, those are all things that could happen on the site now. Moving forward.
I have a question. Has any of those conversations started?
Yes.
Okay.
He previously said, or Mike Galvin previously said, that the pool could not be used by the youth because it was in such poor condition, and that the port has stronger requirements for safety than the scouts do, and they would not let anybody swim in the pool. So I don't understand what I'm hearing now.
That is correct. But like Mary Star, right now we found we're accommodating, helping Mary Star High School. They're the one swim team that needs help right now. They're looking at a pool in Carson, and we've been actively helping them get access to that pool. So yes, you're correct. The swim pool, the swimming pool needs a little bit of work. The deck is in poor position, and the idea is to get the pool back up into a appropriate or whatever, a workable site, so it's not going to be harmful to any of the kids or anything like that.
What's it going to take to do that, Augie? I didn't quite understand.
It looks like, if I were to guess, I think that we'll probably replace a lot of the equipment and replace the deck, the pool deck.
In what timeline?
It's unclear right now. I don't know what the timeline is, but I know they've been working at the site. Our CNN teams, they went and cleaned up all the vegetation around there. They chopped down a couple of trees that were kind of breaking up the foundation. We're fixing up a few of the exterior bathrooms. So they're doing work, and we're trying to move as quickly as we can.
Thank you, Augie. Sorry, Mr. Norman has a question or comment.
Yeah, thanks, Augie. I wasn't aware. I thought accommodation meant on site, but it sounds like the pool is finding ways to transport people to another pool outside the area. Could you clarify in terms of anything on the property that's available? I'm assuming the building, there's nothing allowed indoors, but maybe is it just access to the ocean that's currently available for the next, quarter, or looking into the summer? Like when we say accommodate, what could be physically accommodated at that geographic location?
Well, we would love to use the pool, but it's just not, it's not safe enough to use in our when we had a person come and do a survey on that. But right now, I'm not quite sure if the interior of the building could be used. I don't know if anyone wants that, but I believe ocean access, the dragon boats and things like that can be accommodated. I believe that if the scouts want to use it for overnight scouting and this summer, they could use it. So Pathway to Podium is the entity that's going to be managing that site moving forward. I know there's a couple of community members, Mike Lansing. I know that the councilman was very insistent, making sure that you have somebody that's going to be fighting for our youth, like Mike Lansing, and another one, Jack Barrich, on their board. So yeah, I haven't heard of anyone not being accommodated. So so far we're moving forward. I think we expected, if I remember right, we expected the scouts to be there a few more months. And by leaving at the end of the year, we've been, it's been we're working at it as best we can right now.
I just want to do a quick follow-up. So the path or whatever the P2P group is, so a group seeking to find out if they can go indoors or to schedule in the ocean, is that in place right now, or we're still kind of waiting? Because I think if you could put this on your list for next month to come back, I think these are questions we'll get a lot and need the details so we can help spread the message.
Okay, I'll ask Mike. Mike knows a little bit more about it. Mike was unable to attend tonight's meeting. He had personal obligations, but he knows more of the details. I know pretty good, but not all of the details because things change daily, and Mike's on it every day. And I get information. Maybe my information is a couple of weeks late, so not quite sure.
It does sound like from what you're saying, though.
I would like us to move on because I think we're kind of.
I just wanted to ask a question about another topic that he covered, the West Harbor.
Thank you.
Has a decision been made to not use artificial turf at the outdoor venue?
Artificial turf at West Harbor?
Yeah.
I'm sure that I know an EIR was done for West Harbor, and they're going to have to do whatever the EIR says. I'm not quite sure if they're going to do artificial or natural.
That's a good answer.
That's not an answer to the question.
But you have to ask the developers because they have a choice.
Do they have a choice? I don't know. They have to.
They have a choice.
They have to adhere to the
EIR. Or
EIR.
grass.
Yeah, they have to adhere to the EIR.
Because it's actually the
Thank you, Augie.
You're welcome.
One more question.
Yeah, but Augie, the administration of the scout camp has been a problem for many, many, many years, or a controversy, I should say. What is the port going to do to work on how the camp's administrated so that we don't have a lot of complaints from everybody about it?
Well, that P2P is the entity that's going to administrate the camp moving forward. And the councilman, like I said, the councilman wanted to make sure that, the intent is making sure that our community and the youth in particular have access to that camp as we go through the Olympics, and then going out with an RFP moving forward, at the end of the Olympics, and hopefully we'll get an entity taking over the camp. And making sure, I think the whole intent is making sure that that scout camp is open to everyone, and in particular the youth of our community.
Yes, I'm understanding what's going on regarding the youth. Let me get it specifically here. The Cabrillo Youth Center. There's definitely some more questions that need to be asked. And again, I'm sensing. We should move on. Diana.
You want to move on? I have two comments on this side. Augie, the first one is it does sound from the discussion that to say that everything has been accommodated is not an accurate statement. And so maybe you need to rethink that statement. My second comment, however, which is the real reason I'm talking, is because if you wait until the Olympics to put out the RFP, that's going to be another 2 years. You're going to
I'm sorry if you misunderstood. The RFP will go out before the Olympics are over. The intent is
significantly before the Olympics.
The intent is once the Olympics is over that we could select a new operator for that camp. So I might have misunderstood. And if you have somebody that hasn't been accommodated, I'd like to know about it. So please let me know. But I haven't heard of anyone not being accommodated. I seen a lot of emails going through. And once again, Mike has his pulse on it better than I do. But I have seen a lot of emails, and I saw the intent is to accommodate everyone that has used that site in the past. So the intent is genuine.
Yeah, intent is intent. Let's move on. Thank you, Augie.
You're welcome. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks. I think we're going to need a dictionary.
You can get a list. It's good to have it.
Moving on. We're gonna go back to item 4C.
Don't we still have 3H for Robin? It's just the Robin.
Coast area special resource study.
Robin, so
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this was quite a surprise. I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention a major federal study that could have long-term implications for our coastline here and also the land use process. The National Park Service has initiated what's called the Los Angeles Coastal Area Special Resource Study. It's congressionally authorized, and it's to evaluate whether coastal areas from Santa Monica Bay through the South Bay and into San Pedro meet the criteria for inclusion in the national park system, possibly a national recreation area. Big thing. But it's in a study phase only. It doesn't create a park per se. It doesn't change land ownership, and it doesn't override existing local and coastal commission authority, at least at this stage. So what the Park Service is doing now is they're evaluating 4 main criteria: national significance, suitability, feasibility, and whether the National Park Service would provide benefits beyond what our current protections are. And so they're asking for public input, and for communities like ours with working waterfront uses, port operations, historic sites, coastal access issues, environmental justice considerations. The study raises some very important questions. For example, how would the National Recreation Area interact with existing Port Authority and Coastal Act jurisdiction? Would federal designation strengthen preservation or complicate land use? How would funding work, and what would this mean for industrial areas and maritime uses? So I'm not here to advocate for or against the concept. There's too much we still don't know or understand, but it's exactly the type of thing we need to weigh in on before they make their recommendation. And by the way, I believe this was authored by Congressman Ted Lieu. And the public comment period is open right now, and the Park Service is asking communities to weigh in on what makes their coastal areas nationally significant, assuming we want this, and what concerns we have. So we really should participate, not just coastal, but all of us is a big thing. And I suggest that we consider agendizing this on all of our committee agendas. And they even said they could provide a representative from the Park Service to come and talk to different committees and boards. So might want to do that. So to be continued, it's not a small matter. It could shape, make a lot of changes for the future. And let me give you guys the website. I should have put it on the agenda, but if you want to look up a little more about it in detail, it's parkplanning.nps for National Park Service .gov/Los Angeles Coastal. By the way, the National Park Service has reached out to the city of LA to get their feedback. I have no idea where, maybe through the Park and Recs or Rec and Parks. The comment period is February 5th through April 6th. This study could lead to nothing, no action at all, but we really should think it through and comment because it could be a really big deal.
Thank you, Robin. Are there any questions?
What?
Any questions online?
Say the website again, please.
It is parkplanning.nps.gov/Los Angeles Coastal.
Is Los Angeles spelled out or just LA coastal?
Los Angeles spelled out.
All right. Thank you, Robin, on that topic. The next item is, and that included AB 1740, correct?
Yes. And I'll just do real brief because this, impacts the coastal zone, so it may not be interesting to everyone here. But this is a new bill by Assemblymember Zabur. It's called Urban Multimodal and Coastal Communities, and it's being sponsored by City of Santa Monica, Streets for All, and Abundant Housing. And supposedly to modernize coastal permitting for areas that have urban multimodal communities. And those are communities that have implemented robust transit service, committed bike infrastructure, and climate and safety plans. So they mentioned that this only impacts a limited set of projects, but it actually impacts all multifamily housing that would not be required to have a CDP. And it also impacts, hold on. Renovations up to 150% increase in the footprint, changes of use, lot consolidations, lot splits, roadway, public right-of-way changes, and major transportation projects. So it's too much. It really goes too far. And the definition of urban multimodal is very vague. For example, one of the requirements is for one high quality transit corridor or transit priority area, neither one are defined, with stops in the coastal access zone, not to be confused with the coastal zone. Coastal access zone is defined to include areas within a quarter mile of the coastal zone. So it's coastal zone plus quarter mile all around. And so they're, trying to redefine the area that's getting the benefits here. It's really, I think, and a lot of other people think, it's this legislative session's attempt to significantly roll back the Coastal Act. Every legislative session there in Sacramento, they try to do something to undermine the Coastal Act in the guise of doing something good for the environment. So it's, I think, just another expression of anti-regulation and land grab. But we're going to talk about it in coastal and analyze it. Oh, the other thing is, and maybe the most troubling, is that alfresco dining has been folded into the bill. So they're saying anyone who's doing alfresco dining can just keep doing it, and no parking required. And they don't even define restaurant as, bona fide eating establishment. It's like if you sell a hot dog and chips, you qualify. So I think it's a very bad bill. I'll keep an eye on it and keep you guys informed.
Thank you. Brooke, also, I saw that you had a question. Was that regarding the previous topic?
Yes, it was. I wanted to talk about the National Park Service study. Robin, can you summarize what the advantages or disadvantages to the community would be if this happens?
I listened in to their first listening session. There's another one coming up that you guys can get on a Zoom. I don't remember the date, but it's on that website. And the only thing I could really see as an advantage was if there were more protections, or, if we had rangers from the National Park Service to enforce the regulations and that kind of thing. But, the federal government has had its own budget issues, right? They're shutting down the government, a couple times a year and all that too. So that's the only one I've really heard about so far.
Also, Robin, the website that you gave us, if you could send us the email with that exact link, so that way we get it correctly for the report.
I'll send it to you and then you can circulate it.
Thank you.
What you mean? Okay, great.
And for those interested, when you get to the website, it does have a link to the YouTube public meeting that she attended, so you'd be able to listen for yourself.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Robin.
She's coming back.
She's coming back.
Your turn again.
All right. And so we're going to move to motions and discussion items. And so the first motion with requesting inclusion of certain non-discretionary projects in certified neighborhood council reports. Robin, take it away.
Okay, thanks. So we does everybody have it? Oh yeah, you said you passed it out, right? Okay, wonderful. So in coastal, we already passed this motion, our board did. And I think we've all had these surprise projects cropping up, and we've had them also in the non-coastal zone areas of our coastal neighborhood council jurisdiction. And neighbors get very upset when suddenly, someone comes and does a big demo and start building a 6-story project they didn't even know was coming.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And that's a lot of that's because of our new housing element and some new ordinances related to that, as well as the mayor's ED1, which is now an ordinance, et cetera. So the idea here is to at least give the public notice. So I'll read this. It's whereas there is currently no process for neighborhood councils to be informed of non-discretionary projects. In other words, we hear about coastal development permits because they're discretionary, but these other by right projects, we don't know they're coming. So the resolved is the Coastal San Pedro Neighborhood Council requests that despite the fact that non-discretionary projects are considered ministerial, they should be required to be included on the Certified Neighborhood Council, those are our CNC reports, when they are density bonus projects or affordable housing related projects being processed under city regulations that allow de facto variances from the basic zoning requirements for height, FAR, and density. So we're not saying report all by right or ministerial projects, but the ones that are, in essence, variances from the basic zoning that we're familiar with. And I think if we all, write in and maybe even get some other neighborhood councils to write in, there might be a chance to get this so that we can provide notice to our neighborhoods.
Diana May.
I would like to move for Northwest, this same motion with the exception that it say resolved that the Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council requests. We were quite taken by surprise recently about the project being proposed to be built on Nelson. It evidently had been in the works for quite some time before we found out about it. And I think we do need sooner notification of what's happening. So I would make that motion on behalf of Northwest.
I'll second.
Oh, I'm not.
You can't second Northwest.
I know.
Norman, second.
Thomas Norman, second. All right, so there's a motion on the floor for Northwest. I believe we have a quorum for Northwest.
Any other discussion from Northwest? Let's call the vote.
You did.
I'll do it. Anybody opposed?
In favor?
Anybody abstaining? It's unanimous for Northwest.
Adrian?
Oh, sure. I'll move for Central.
Quick question. Can we make sure to include that motion and the language of it? Because that's not attached on the agenda, nor have I been able to review it.
So the motion is request.
You just need to send him a copy.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll take care of it.
Okay, back to me. I'll move for Central. Also making an amendment to change coastal to Central. Is there a second?
I second. Ooh, we both second.
Rock, paper, scissors.
But I have a question. I'm unclear in terms of the parameters of this particular action. I mean, is it encompassing any and all projects within South San Pedro, or is it specifically unique to coastal?
No.
No, just
Everywhere.
it's all projects throughout the city. You're limited to San Pedro.
And it would be
They
Central.
City implemented it.
Central was really hit hard by these.
I'm supporting this, but I need to state for the record that Central is being inundated by projects we are not notified in any way, shape, or form. So we're going to start pushing hard to be notified because there's overlap between the chamber and the business district, and we're kind of left out on the sideline. So prospectively, we intend to press.
Okay. May I ask, where is this, who are we sending this to, Robin? Plan and the mayor's office, the council?
I think we need to send it to our council member to get his support, as well as Vince Bertoni, who heads up the planning department, as well as the, I don't know if they're called Dunn or Empower LA, but the neighborhood council group.
Okay.
I also send it to the planning commission.
Yeah, planning.
So there's a motion on the floor for Central. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Discussion, is it closed?
Any
I
more
think
discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none. Adele,
Yes.
Adrian, yes. Frank,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
and then is Thomas?
Right here.
Thomas,
Yeah, Tom's here.
Thomas, what's your vote?
Yes.
There you go. Unanimous.
Your pause for, okay, and they've obviously moved it at coastal.
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
Mhm.
If you were opposed,
Yeah.
unless you voted no, then it's assumed you voted yes.
Were you on the next?
I was told.
Yep, so, okay, all right, thank you. That's, we've handled that business. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you,
Working-
Chair.
We've been working today. All right, so the next one is a discussion of rotating co-chairs of joint meetings and setting the 2026 schedule.
And this is a good day to discuss it with Diana, Pat, kind of moving away, probably a little bit less available. And I want to recognize Kane for doing a great job stepping up and.
Thank you, Kate.
Yeah, bravo.
But it is a lot of work, and as you know, maybe get asked to be put on the committee again, or maybe asked to co-chair in the future. And this is Thomas Norman speaking for the record. But going into that, I think for anybody looking to come back to this committee, which is a lot of work, it makes sense, I think, to understand that many hands, make light work. So wanted to have a conversation with Central Coastal leadership too, and maybe even tentatively by area, kind of rotate some of the major responsibilities preparing for this meeting. So having, worked on that, watching Diana, trying to support Kane, creating the agenda is a fair amount of work to make sure that gets done on time. So that's a particular action. Would like to rotate between the three groups and then chairing the meeting. Some people will prefer one, some prefer the other. It's more of a showman, right? I have a fear of not getting to public speak, so I chair every meeting. That part's not hard. But assembling and kind of bird dogging, make sure that you get the agenda prep. Yeah. So with that said, just was hoping we could have a conversation and see if that's direction this group wants to recommend for July, beginning July of next year, and then maybe get volunteers, for rotating Northwest, Coastal, Central for each of the 6 months to start out the new year when the new terms begin. Diana?
I just wanted to suggest that seemed to be a discussion that the leadership of the three neighborhood council committees, the chairs and co-chairs, if there are vice chairs, should have, rather than trying to have it in this group, since they're the ones that really need to. It's kind of coordinated.
Clarification question. Are you talking about rotating every single month? Or maybe for continuity, one has 2 or 3 months and then you move to the next one? I think might be more efficient.
Yeah, I'll jump in. This is a unique planning, land use, and port association, if you will, between the three councils. There's some have a port chair, some do not, right? And so, but this seems to be the best way where everybody can participate. And this is a really rich space for information. So a lot of great information does come through here. At the top of it, I've actually, midway through this time between Thomas and Diana, is looking to reach out to technicalists within our community. And so that either they can step up, or if there are professional resources that you might have that might be able to contribute to the pot. I'm a technical person as a financial person, and these are real projects. Just one of these projects alone is what people get paid to do, let alone us trying to navigate it in a patchwork. We're doing as best as we can. But this does require professional management. Clearly, we don't have the budget to subscribe to any of these professional tools but we do have to take a little bit more ownership as a collective to getting a grip on these topics versus one person from one council/committee has all the information. And so, for example, Robin, anchored a lot of the topics today. How can we as a collective support her on those particular topics and stay abreast other than just going to the CIS website and checking to see where something is at. And of course, there's meetings that are happening in between. So there's report backs that should technically be on a committee level before it comes back to this particular joint reporting meeting, which is, sometimes we get some more into committee conversations. So that's my take on it. So please continue. I hear your recommendation in terms of, Diana, in terms of the leadership. Definitely speak with Robin and Lamar, as we always collectively bring ideas to the agenda. So it's not just, Northwest, monopolizing the topic. So we're just trying to be as democratic and as equitable as possible, but we're all in this where we have to really reach into our neighborhoods and knock on some extra doors and saying, hey, can you bring a certain expertise? I think we used that with Doug when we were working on a particular letter to get an extension for the 5 points. And so we have to dig a little bit deeper into our resource pool, but coordination is definitely with support.
So if you're gonna put it on the agenda, I'll react to two things. One, I do think it is somewhat urgent, having tried to get groups of volunteers to do things. Again, working with Kane, working with people in Northwest to bring them up to speed. People's willingness to take on this is, especially among working age folks who have professional careers, it's really hard to get volunteers. I mean, to find a Diana Nave or somebody to put that time in, I have very low confidence of that. If I were appointed, looking at Ray, looking at Northwest, seeing committees that when I've left them haven't met for a year. I mean, things become too dependent on certain people. And so I'm going to be really honest. I think Lori's suggestion is really good. It is kind of disruptive to have a different person change the meeting every 3 months. So that one, I think, but what I want to leave today is some sense from Central and Coastal is a commitment that, we'll do the agenda for, we'll commit to it for a third of the time, because I don't think it's democratic for one group to do everything. That's where I'm willing to be an autocrat, like as a leader sometimes, to say, willing to step up and do this if I feel there's support from the other three. Signing up for a third of a job is a much different ask than signing up for the whole job and having all that responsibility. Kane, myself, or whoever, Ray and leadership in Northwest want to look for the next year. So that's where I wanted to be really honest about my feelings and my recommendation for this group. The rotating of the chairing of the meeting, I think that can kind of vary based on schedule. And in Northwest, I know, will advocate and have tried, and I've seen Diana work with Sam, Garrett, Kane, to make sure people can just fill in. But it is disruptive. And we really want to thank Elise for the unsung work that she does, right? That a lot of stuff gets put on the host, with the technical support. But there is a lot of work. And I'm just hoping, at this meeting, at least, I'd love to hear from, Lamar and Robin on their thoughts. They think that's way off. And having done this, one person should be in charge for the year. And another one willing to step up. That's useful to know too.
And I want to give a shout out to Garrett as well. He's been, providing notes, in the background. Sometimes he can be here, but he's been doing an amazing job on that as well. So it's been a really team effort to having great meetings.
Robin, how do you? I like the rotating chair concept, and I just because we get different perspectives, different things might get introduced based on work that different councils are doing. It makes sense to me. Is it something we have to bring back, or can the leadership just decide amongst the leadership, or how? I don't know how it's been handled in the past.
Yeah,
Does Rob want to speak?
No, we'll do our part. I'm fine with committing to something. It may not always be me. Might need help from the committee members, but I would definitely take our third of the year or whatever it is.
And we'll help you. I think our committee will help Robin.
Yeah.
Lamar?
I did this for 3 months, and I was shocked how much work was involved. And I take my hat off to you in regards to what you were doing. To appreciate what you were doing, you have to sit in that seat. And I'm open to flexibility in terms of rotation, but I only say I'm not sure anyone can store her shoes.
Nope. Nope, we cannot fill your shoes, Diana.
Agree.
Yeah, I gotta live with her, don't get her too. Right, so.
Oh, come on, let us just.
Yeah, right, she's like, Pat, you're recognized in so many ways.
I think there's a lot of capable people here. I do think there is some value to having some person identified as being responsible for something in this community. I mean, each of our neighborhood council presidents, Ray, Lamar, Doug, if they are identified, everybody knows who the go-to person is if you need to get something through a particular group. And I think that would hold also with respect to the joint planning committee. So I'd be an advocate of having somebody take it on at least for a while.
But that doesn't mean that they have to be the one that puts together the agenda. That could rotate.
Well, I think that there's some systems that need to be enacted, that way we're all flowing the information in the same direction. There needs to be some captains, if you will, on certain topics, Philip 66, clearly there's some discussion around chassis, Gibson, and then, Cabrillo is still not done, right? So there's a lot of real conversation that needs to happen, but some people should want to take ownership. There's a lot of passion in the room. But then there's the technical part on how we move forward. And then there's conversations that we're just going to have naturally as people in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
But we do need to start having those parking lot conversations and getting motion in the meetings.
Well, I would like to say, Kane, you're doing a great job on the agendas, but I would actually like to see maybe less on the agenda because, as you said, these are some pretty, complicated topics, projects, and when folks see they're like, I know Mike Tunney joined us for a while. If a consultant or somebody sees their project on this agenda, they're coming into the meeting. So I just want to be respectful of community's time, project advocates' time, and just so everyone's prepared. So I like how you're collecting all the projects that we should be looking at, but I don't know if there's a way to structure the agenda differently.
It's simply managing the agenda.
Yeah.
It is 7:32 at this particular moment, and so technically we would want to ask for an extension of time to continue to meet.
But I don't.
But
I'm just going to raise that point.
Yeah, that's a great observation, and the reality is no one wants to be shown out. These are multi-million-dollar projects.
Right, but you put your best foot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we do need to be respectful of every word that we print on, and if it's something that we want to do, maybe it shouldn't be joint committee level, but neighborhood council committee level.
I love our joint meetings because we're all hearing the same
Yes,
information at the same time. I really do appreciate
But
this.
but there needs to be some homework.
Sandra.
There needs to be some work before coming to this.
Absolutely.
Doug? Thank you.
You're muted. Doug.
He's new at this, stuff.
Yeah, okay. The logician in me is going crazy right now
Uh-oh.
because it's actually a really simple process if you break it down. So there are essentially three tasks involved here in successfully running these meetings. One is chairing the meeting. 2, preparing the agendas. 3, doing the research for the agenda items. Okay. The same people don't necessarily have to do those things. So it's easy enough to set up a schedule where you rotate chairing the meeting. And that's as easy as saying, okay, this month Coastal does it, and Coastal designates some person, whether it's Robin or another member of our planning committee, most likely, to chair the meeting. In terms of putting agendas together, what I would recommend is that the planning chairs of the 3 neighborhood councils involved either do a regular Zoom meeting, or if they can do it via email or whatever, to say, okay, these are the items we need to get on the agenda. And that's how you develop the agenda. And finally, doing the research on each of these items, that's the tough part. Even if it's only contacting a developer or whoever to come and talk about it. And again, that may be as easy as Robin bringing a motion from coastal and the research has already been done. Or it may involve somebody saying to somebody, we need somebody to do the work here. And that I would recommend be the responsibility of the three planning chairs when
Thank
they
you.
prepare agendas. So that
Makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, we need to develop a system where for those three pieces always flow in the same direction, and we'll need to have a matrix chart. That way people can know who is the right person at the right time versus the originator or the passion person on a particular topic.
And I think you made this more complicated than it needs to be.
Yeah. By the way, Kane, when you said matrix chart, I got all excited.
I know. That'll be between the chairs.
Some people like the charts, yes.
Yeah, we all learn differently.
Lamar?
I think that's a simple process. And I think Doug nailed it in the sense it's just a matter of three chairs coming together, putting together an agenda and proceed. That's just, I think it's getting more complicated than it needs to be. I think by having a committee meeting among the three chairs and get the agenda done, we can move it accordingly. Again, Diane's shoes are too big to fill.
Yes.
Extremely.
You know, I had meetings of the four chairs. That is how it works.
All right.
So you're talking about having agenda setting meetings with the three.
Yeah, we'll have an executive.
Yeah.
Chairs. That's how
simple.
we did it.
Okay.
All right, at 7:37, we're gonna continue on from that item. The next one is going to be plan check, meeting that happened on the 14th.
Did anybody attend and want to report? If not, we can just move on.
Robin, did you go to that?
No, and I was just gonna say, this is one of the harder jobs because they go over a lot of stuff, a lot of citywide council files and motions and yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on. And the next item is the San Pedro zoning hearing update, which will be tomorrow. So
Only update hearing.
Yes, but there also was I was doing some homework where there was a report that came out on the 18th through Plan Check, and it has two recommendations. Those recommendations will direct the city's planning to proactively update zoning near the transit and in higher opportunity areas to comply with SB 79, while simultaneously delaying implementation in fire-prone industrial, historic, and lower opportunity areas where the law allows it. And so that's just what the report, I think it was about 57 pages. That's the top of the two recommendations. So I'll just leave it at that at this particular point, but there's obviously.
Where did you see that report?
That was a report that you had actually sent me.
Okay, so it wasn't related to the hearing tomorrow then? It was a different report.
SB 79?
Yeah,
It
not
was
related to the hearing tomorrow.
It was at the Plum hearing yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I'm sorry, I'm confusing plum and plan check. I'm confusing plum and plan check. So it was all right.
But tomorrow is the hearing on the update of the zoning code to be the new zoning code. That is the hearing tomorrow.
Okay.
And then there's a comment period following that.
All right. We're going to move on to item number 6, which is the general public comment and non-agenda items. Lori?
Hi. So I'm getting more concerned with the empty lot on Pacific at 14th. It's getting worse and worse by the day. Of course, I drive by there a couple times a day. Besides the weeds being really tall, there's a lot of trash in there. It almost looks like some people might be living there. I know, at least I hate to keep bringing it up, but there's got to be something we can do to hold that property owner responsible for not leaving it in the condition that it's in. it's unsanitary, it's unsightly, it's on a lot of stuff. Is there no, and I'm not going to dig into the history of why that property can't, that owner can't develop the property. Most of us know the reasons, but I don't know if anybody knows, is there anything that you can do for the property owner to make them a little more responsible for cleaning it up? I don't know.
Well, I know another community member has a similar situation. We just saw that, or if you didn't see that, with the people that have been affected by the fires, that they've been issued a fee or a permit, what do you call it?
A brush clearing.
Yeah, a brush clearing
fee of some type.
Right, and so that was obviously,
I mean, you can put them through the city abatement process, I guess, for weed clearance and trash pickup.
How do you do that?
I mean, you can send an email to the council office and ask them to proceed.
So I, as an individual, can,
yes,
I'm happy to do that. Yeah.
That's.
You also file with building and safety
Mhm.
and what the.
It's a hazard
What
now.
they used to do, and I think they still do, is they just call you in for a city attorney. Hearing, it's informal. Property owners give a certain amount of time to clean up.
So send it to Tim's office?
I would, I just.
Building and safety.
I'm sorry?
Clean house or building and safety.
building.
Okay, so I have no idea. I'll talk to somebody about how I get a letter to building and safety.
It might, I mean, it might
Yeah.
encourage him to clean it up, but he says he spent thousands of dollars and it's never done because he cleans it and the next day they're right back at it.
And it's worse now. I will say that today they filled all the potholes in front of my building. I watched them doing it. So I thank them profusely. Something got done.
So I would, report him.
Okay, I will do that.
I think it's a very simple process. I have some rental property and the neighbor next door complained about my tenant. And I received a notice from the city giving X number of days to clean it up or proceed. So to me, it's just a matter of making a complaint to Tim's office.
Do I need to know who the owner of the property is, or if I just give the address that?
Look it up.
Address.
Okay,
I think there's multiple.
all right. Ray will help me.
I'll look it up.
Anything else? Any other public
I
comments?
have an announcement
That
works.
when
That's
when you're
general.
ready.
Is there any committee member updates by any chance?
I have a committee update.
Okay.
So the cannabis shops, our district has been overwhelmed by cannabis shops. We've made a complaint to the mayor's office in regards to there's a process allegedly that each cannabis owner is to appear before the neighborhood council. We have 6, and that one time does a cannabis shop come to us and say, hey, what is your opinion? So we're leaning very heavily on the mayor's office to do something. We also pretty much have requested the mayor's office to send a rep from the cannabis department to ask them why they're not proceeding.
And the deputy mayor.
Checkbox when they file for their permit, because I know we have 3 cannabis chamber members. And I know as a part of their, the process that they're in with the city, they're required to do community outreach and projects. One just did a beach cleanup. So I mean, we can get those 3 in because they'd be willing to chat, but I don't know, is it a checkbox? Or how do they do that? How do they say, have you met with the neighborhood council?
From a regulation standpoint, it's our understanding that they're mandated to contact the neighborhood council, but they've literally on our side sidestepped us totally. So,
Interesting, okay.
But what it's been told by the council office from Drew is that they are going to the cannabis regulation commission meetings that are approving the licenses, saying that they're doing community outreach.
Right.
And the commission is approving these licenses without.
They should have to put it with an agenda.
You know,
Yeah.
and finding out whether or not they actually went.
They're not required
Proof. We have a
It
comment.
sounds like somebody needs to go to the commission,
Oh,
complain.
Garrett, you have the floor.
Yeah, last time I checked, the city of Los Angeles designated the entire San Pedro area to have a total of 6 total licensed cannabis businesses. I would definitely check to see if they're actually licensed businesses. A lot of the
So
times
when-
they will just pop up and say they're licensed, but they're not actually licensed.
When they come in for chamber membership approval, we do check that they are licensed and have gone through the process with the city. But this is an interesting piece because we can ask them to do that, when they come in, if they, we'll know that now. Yeah.
So then, Lisa, I have a question on that because when you go to the DCR website and you search, it just says, approved or not, and you can't get to the actual application that they submitted to the commission.
Case in point, if you make a phone call to the department, they say, leave a message. We'll get back to you.
So I know I'll report back on our process because Myra meets with the individual members, goes over their license and approvals with them. And some of these, I know they're spending a lot of money to get licensed and opened. I find it's frightening that they would not check that box when they're spending the kind of money they are.
Did you ask them if they went to the neighborhood council?
I have not. I will.
Yeah. We have a stakeholder.
I'm telling you, you definitely need to check if they're licensed businesses.
Yes.
A lot of these are not licensed businesses, and they're just popping up because people have come to the assumption that, oh, they're licensed, it's fine. A lot of them are not, to my knowledge.
I will have Myra double check on our free tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreeing with the lease, I believe there was only 3 total licensed up to a certain point. I believe in 2025, there were only 3 officially licensed.
Okay, thank you.
6 and 7.
Yes, go ahead. According to the DCR, all these dispensaries are supposed to be 700 feet away from schools,
Yes.
libraries, parks, treatment facilities, and 4 of the 6 in Central fall within that 700 feet. So I don't know how to open permits. And how do we get them? I believe it's 500. I just updated recently.
He's reading it right from the site.
Right from the site.
I recommend letting the council member know, like that's a violation.
Pat, please.
I would think that the licensing organization should be able to require proof from the applicant that they have contacted and appeared before the neighborhood council. And I would think that if we as a group said to Tim or to the licensed organization, we want this done, that they would respond to that.
What happened was Drew attempted to contact the department for them to contact us, and they totally ignored her.
They totally ignored her?
Ignored her. So we're trying to go straight to the mayor's office right now.
Find out who the city attorney is that advises that board, if you can.
Okay.
That'd be a good way to do it to them.
Diana?
Yeah, I will say the one in Northwest did not contact us either.
Well, the one on Gap,
Did not come before. No.
the Stone Age one on Gap Beach?
Stone Age.
Yeah. So, but the reason I raised my hand is that Northwest, probably 3 or 4 years ago, passed a motion that I think we ought to reconsider and maybe get all 3 neighborhood councils that asked that the port properties that are like parks be considered parks under that ordinance, because right now, 22nd Street Park, the buffer zone in Wilmington, the North Gaffey, none of those are considered parks. But for that ordinance. And so we did ask, and that was under the previous administration. When Tim came in, I sent it to him, but I think it needs to be, and if all 3 neighborhood councils would do that, I think that would also be helpful.
Designation.
Well, let's work for the next agenda.
Did you have something? Okay.
I have a question as far as all those that are not legal. Is there something that we can do at this point, it's not proactive, but to go out there and let them know that we are going to do something or inquiring whether they have filed the necessary paperwork, and that might scare some of them away.
Yeah. Well, I'm a business rep for Northwest, technically, so I mean, absolutely, I could walk in there and.
I've never walked in one. I'm assuming they have to have their license posted, like
They have
a bar or a barber shop or.
have them outside on the windows, I've noticed.
I didn't mean to open up this
Why
discussion.
don't we put this on the agenda for next time?
Yes.
Come up with a plan of action.
Okay.
Sounds good.
But we'll
Let's investigate it.
It's a letter to ask
Okay.
someone from DCR and then the deputy mayor who oversees the DCR.
With any response?
We'll find out.
Okay, so this is, we'll do some investigations and we'll bring it to our respective committees and go from there. But I presume that this is gonna be on next month's agenda.
Thank you.
No, you said an announcement.
I do have, I need a drum roll for this?
I would just like to say that the San Pedro Chamber of Commerce has, is honoring Diana.
Oh, yes.
As a Women's History Month. Honoring her on Thursday, March 26th, it's the Dalmatian American Club at 5:30, and she will be joined with some other incredible women in the community. Olga Chavez, Lucretia Jacobson, Donna Littlejohn, and Lindsay Sokars, our young rising star.
Wow.
And we would like to make the offer that all neighborhood council members can come in for the chamber discounted price. So just contact me.
What's the date? We have flyers.
Thursday, March 26th
Okay.
at 5:30. I have flyers, but it's going to be a great party, and we look forward, Diana, to celebrating you.
We
The day
do.
they're coming to take our furniture.
Oh, boy.
Well, you know what? Yeah, hire somebody to Pat, you can monitor the box. Diana's coming.
Oh, no, well, we're coming.
Oh, I know, I'm teasing. But yeah, we're really looking
To be there.
Is
He's on there from the craft?
Yes, yeah, would you like a flyer?
I would. Yeah.
We're so excited. Yes.
And Donna Littlejohn, like that's
Right. Our grandkids.
one year I'm gonna get a Girl Scout in there, okay?
You're going.
When are we get there?
Yeah.
Going to that.
All right. All right, I know we're all excited. All right,
Event.
so
It's always a wonderful
It
event.
is a wonderful event.
I know her.
Yeah, if somebody, she's at a discounted price.
Right, $1,000.
It's going to a great cause.
It's going to support educational programming at the chamber.
Say education today?
I did.
Just not-
That's a great announcement. Excellent.
Business Academy.
Thank you. That being said,
Just let me just say how much I have enjoyed being a part of this group. It's really been a great experience, and we're gonna miss you all.
Oh, we're gonna miss you more.
Diane.
I know.
We have Zoom.
No, I don't think so.
is there anybody that's on the Zoom that we did not acknowledge?
Yeah. For that minutes, we see Charles Henry, we had Robert, Christina, Richard, I think Jerry Gaines, we had Mike. So just putting that on the record before we motion to adjourn.
You have a hand up.
Wait a second.
And then if you want to,
Richard wants to speak.
Richard, 1 second. If you want to make sure that you're on the mailing list for the committees, please email me or email me. We have 2 hands up.
Go ahead, Richard.
Okay, yeah, I would just like to, I don't know whether it's make a motion or request that the grant application and land use for the Fred Brown Recovery Service be at the Little Sisters of the Poor facility be on the agenda for the next meeting.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yes, that's a topic that has risen, and it's in the works.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Immediate. Thank you, Jerry.
Oh, Sherry has a seat?
Jerry Gaines.
Now, Jerry, you're recognized president of the South Shores.
Mhm.
So I have to mute him again.
Just to miss you.
You wanted me back?
Okay.
Or no.
That was it.
Richard.
Oh, yes.
No, it was Richard. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Jerry.
Jerry.
There you go.
Oh, figured out where the mic key is. I just want to commend all of you sitting around that table watching our neighborhood council system in its field level, having been a co-author of the system a few years ago. I want to come in and thank you guys for all your diligence and hard work and thoroughness. And we got some heavy duty issues coming out here with the Phillips thing and some of the other, West Harbor opening up, the Olympics, the water facility that kids had for all the years. You got some really heavy topics there, and you talked around a lot of them. But just the fact that you're willing to be out there for an evening since a Wednesday night, thank you very much on behalf of all of us in the community that live here. And stay safe and take care.
Thanks, Jerry.
Jerry, is there anything you want to say to the knaves?
That's all right. It's not gonna give you a break. You're not.
All right. So I'd like to deal with it if I can. Can I do that as from the chair position?
7:55, are you making a motion?
Yes.
No, can the chair move to adjourn?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that being said, at 7:55, I'm gonna move that we adjourn the meeting.
It's non-debatable.
You don't have
Non-debatable.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you, everybody.